Hi everyone, I'm Dr. D or Doc Shobes, a developmental and behavioral pediatrician who is very excited to be part of this month's special moments with Dr. P. For today, I'm very excited to share this topic because I find it's important, especially nowadays with a lot of uncertain things happening around us. We deal with a lot of behaviors that are sometimes difficult to understand. So hopefully, after this talk, we will be more discerning why our children behave in such a way. Okay? So, let me start. From the audience, I'm actually curious, what do you see among these pictures in front of you? Okay? So, we can see meron isang dalawang bata na nagtutulakan off the scooter. Another picture, two boys hitting each other. Yung pangatlo, batang umiiyak. Pang-apat, ayan, sumisigaw. So what I actually just described would be what we call behavior. So they say that behavior is a way in which a person acts to a particular situation or stimulus. So something that we see, something that we actually observe, describe, or even record. Okay? So on the surface, looks simple, right? But on the contrary, it is actually quite complex. So they say that the iceberg is a wonderful analogy to understand a child's behavior and the reasons behind them. So, like the iceberg, yung tip down neto, ito yung behavior ng bata. So, surface, very superficial. Ito lang ng nakikita natin. However, lingid sa kaalaman ng marami, meron mga feelings na nagtitrigger nito. So, beneath the surface is a mass, no, hidden below. So, maaring itong mga basic needs ng bata tulad ng safety, security, understanding, competency, and of course, if these are not met, then misbehavior can occur. So that's why, as caregivers, it is important to address the underlying beliefs beneath the surface of the iceberg to in order for us to sustain a behavior change. Okay? So now that we know what behavior is, another important thing to discuss would be the factors that affect it. So let me share it one by one. So we have what we call the developmental age of the child. So we really have to take into account this one. And example nito, isang 2 years old, again, di pa natin expect na intindi na niya ang konsepto ng sharing. So no matter what we tell her na mag-share, pwedeng ma-frustrate lang tayo kasi hindi niya pa nagagawa. Siguro ang mas magandang gawin would be to model how to do turn-takings pag naglalaro sila. Next example that I can actually think of would be a 5-year-old versus a 10-year-old in response to losing a game. So, maari sa isang 10-year-old, mas alam na niya, no? Mas tanggap niya, no? Kapag natalo sa isang game, alam niya bakit siya natalo. And in every game, no, meron naman talaga naging winner. So, parang he's showing good sportsmanship. And then, on the other hand, there are children that may have developmental issues. For example, difficulty communicating, those with delays in speech, those with social impairments like autism. So we expect that there would be increased behavioral manifestations. Right. So another thing that we want to discuss is temperament, or the behavioral style of the individual, or the characteristic pattern in reacting to an external or internal environment. For example, how a child reacts to things kapag exciting or pag him not getting his way. So, mga reactive children, di ba, tend to feel strongly. So, sisigaw, sisimangot ka agad, no? And then, there are also how they control their attention, or how persistent they are, how comfortable they are when they are in a new surroundings, or may bago silang nakilala, 'di ba? May mga iba medyo tahimik, nahihiya lang, slow to warm up, ika nga. But we have to important to note that temperament are mostly innate traits that we are born with. So though it can be influenced by the individual's family, culture, or experiences. Okay? So, a third factor I want to put emphasis on is our roles are as caregivers to our children, because a key component affecting a child's behavior is the child's exposure to modeling and teaching in his environment. So always remember, ang mga batang ito, gumagaya na yan sa murang edad. So kung ano yung nakikita nila sa atin, siya din nilang ginagaya. Okay? So now, ang tanong siguro ng karamihan, kailan nagiging problematic ang behavior? Siguro, dapat natin tanungin ang sarili natin, ito ba'y napadadalas na? Ito ba'y nag-worsen? Ito ba'y nakaka-apekto na sa pang-araw-araw na gawain ng bata? Halimbawa, napapaaway na, parati siyang napapagalitan, bumabagsak na siya sa eskwelahan. Then, this is a clue, no, na dapat gawan na natin to ng paraan. Okay? So, para mas lalong maintindihan to, I want to illustrate some of the functions of behavior. So, there are still some, so I'll be just mentioning, for example, escape. Escape is something that the child wants to takasan, no? So, for example, homework. Pag pinag-homework mo, nagdabog siya, no? Because he wants to escape it. When we say tangibles naman, ito yung halimbawa, isang bata, umiiyak, yung pala, gusto ng cellphone or ng yung pacifier niya. Okay? Tapos, finally, pwede rin yung sensory, no? May nararamdaman kasi sila or it actually makes them feel good, no, when doing this behavior. Halimbawa, yung may mga bata na nakikita nyo na bago matulog, nag-uuga-uga ng katawan nila, or may mga ibang bata, parang kukuyakoy, no? So, pwede kasing nakakalma sila. Okay? So, ngayon, ang isa pa siguro tanong ng marami, ano ang mga dapat kaya gawin natin para maiwasan ang mga misbehaviors? Okay? So, meron akong isang step na gustong ibahagi sa inyo. Yun yung tinatawag nating ABC analysis. So, if you can look closely in the picture, so each letter stands for something in this behavioral equation. So, una na dyan, yung A. When we say A, antecedent. Antecedent is usually the event happening immediately before the occurrence of a behavior. So, it could be a person, a setting, or an incident, or it could be a feeling. Okay? So, B, yan yung na-discuss natin, di ba? Behavior, kung ano yung nakikita natin, ano yung na-obserbahan natin. Then C, consequence refers to the event that appears right after the occurrence of a behavior. So, for example, kung na-rewardan yung bata, or may na-lose siyang certain privilege. So, this method is what we call, again, ABC behavior analysis. So, isa-isahin natin. So, antecedent or trigger. So, pwede itong maging medical problem, domestic issues, changes in routine, gutom pala siya, hindi nakatulog the night before. So, these are just some of the events or triggers na naging dahilan bakit nag-behave yung bata ng ganon. Okay? So, pangalawa, ito naman yung B. So, 'di ba sabi natin kung ano yung nakikita sa sample na to, hitting, saying thank you, pag-follow ng request, panunulak, paghila ng buhok. Okay? So, finally, ito yung tinatawag nating C or consequence. So, response to the behavior that affects the probability of the behavior repeating or not. So, verbal attention nabigay ba, physical attention given, siya ba hindi pinansin. Okay? So, ito, meron lang akong example na gustong i-share sa inyo para mas lalo nating maintindihan when it comes to analyzing the behavior of a child using the ABC analysis. Okay? So, ayan, pakita ko po, no? So, meron dito, nakikita nyo, ABC. So, sabi nila, ang paggamit ng ABC analysis, uunahin muna natin. Describe natin yung target behavior in clear, observable terms. So, Dito, madali lang, hitting. Okay? Next, sabi nila, describe natin ang antecedent. So, di ba, ang sabi ko, ang antecedent, ito yung event na nangyari bago yung behavior. So, apparently, yung antecedent dito, gusto niya ng toy pero ayaw ipahiram sa kanya ng kapatid niya. Okay? Ngayon, pangatlo, i-describe naman natin yung consequence or yung event na immediately nangyari after nag-hit siya. So, apparently, si mommy, pinag-time out siya. Tapos, ang gagawin na natin next, i-examine na natin mga ito. And then, pag ganyan, mag-iisip na tayo or magde-devise tayo ng siguro bagong antecedent para in the next future, maano natin to, no? Ma-avoid natin. So, for example, yung antecedent, pwedeng, kung alam na natin na pag meron siyang gusto, hindi nag-hit siya. So, maaring next time na makipaglaro siya, nakabantay tayo. Or if ever nakita natin yung kapatid niya, hindi pa ready i-share or i-let go yung toy dahil gusto pa niyang laruin, siguro pwede mo siyang i-distract. Or on the other hand, yung antecedent, pwede tayong magbigay ng rules, no? Magbibigay tayo o take turns, no? Papakita natin. And then, meron naman tayong tinatawag na, yun nga, pwede natin i-modify yung behavior. So, ito, yung time out, titingnan natin. Oh, nung ginawa natin yung time out, siya ba'y napaisip na, okay, hindi ko na to gagawin. Kasi ayoko naman na mawalay sa laro. So, pwedeng mag-work ito, no? Especially for children who are younger. Okay? So, dyan, nagtatapos ang aking bunting talk with regards to behavior. So, hopefully, everyone was enlightened, no, as to what the functions of behavior and how to deal with this using the ABC analysis. So, hanggang sa muli. Bye!